Do you struggle with regretting how you respond in tough situations? Well, here is how to keep your cool in tense situations and act in a way that is effective and that you can be proud of instead of an embarrassed wimp or an embarrassed hothead. So the next time before you fly off the handle or before you bulldoze forward with new information or precarious information, remember this: you may be wrong. That reminds me of a quote by Mark Twain. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble, it's what you know for sure that just ain't so. That's what gets you into trouble. Also, I saw this show once where it was just one of the many cop shows that I watch. The boss said that he would like to have all of his detectives tattoo on their hand, "I may be wrong." That really stuck with me because it made me think of times when I had bulldozed ahead passionately, only to come to find out later on that I was wrong and that I wasted a lot of people's time, including my own, and looked incredibly foolish. Two other important things to remember in these tough situations are the power of the pause and a proverb that I want to share with you that my dad recently shared with me. So first, the power of the pause, just giving things some time. This is important because one, we may be wrong. Two, it gives you some time to gather more information. Three, it allows more information to come to the surface. And four, it gives you some time to calm down and take the emotion out of a situation. Now the proverb that my dad shared with me, Proverbs 15, 1 through 2. A gentle answer will calm a person's anger, but an unkind answer will cause more anger. Wise people use knowledge when they speak, but fools pour out foolishness. Doesn't mean you have to be sweet or quiet or disingenuous. It just means that you're calm and you keep your cool and you speak matter of fact. It's not about allowing others to be assholes to you. It's about protecting your own peace, your own behavior, because your behavior impacts your peace. And it's to de-escalate the situation. And more importantly, it's because we may be wrong. And at least for me, the more of an asshole I am, the harder it is for me to admit when I realize that I'm wrong. And the more tempted I am to dig my heels in and defend my position just to protect my fragile ego than to just humble myself and live in my values of truth and integrity. So I want to share some stories of a few situations where I did remember these things and a few situations where I didn't know these things and how they turned out differently. So one situation, I was helping a friend with her website and I didn't realize that she had a different service providing the hosting and a different service that she purchased the domains from. I thought they were the same. So I was asking the company that she purchased the domains through for information about hosting, not realizing they're not going to have the answers to my questions. Wasted several hours trying to get this information for her. Finally, a few hours later, somebody else in the organization informs me that we've been asking the wrong company the wrong questions. And I just say, oh, I got to get somewhere. I got to be somewhere. I have to leave, and just kind of sneak out of the situation. So that situation, I wasted a lot of people's time. And what I ended up as was the embarrassed wimp. Another situation, this is when I was in college. I was having lunch at Union Square. I'm waiting in line for a single stall restroom. I knock on the door just to, make sure somebody's in there. And when the person comes out, she says something to me like, "The paper towels are out," something like that. For some reason, I hear something rude about me knocking on the door, and I say to her, "Well, you don't have to be a fucking bitch about it." And I go into the restroom, and then I'm in there, and I'm thinking, what did she just say to me? And why the heck did I hear whatever I think I heard? So afterwards, I have to go out to her. I don't have to. I choose to. I go to her table, and I find her, and I say, "I am so sorry that I just acted like that. I thought you had said something else, but that still is no excuse to behave that way to someone." In that situation, I was an embarrassed hothead. Okay, a few situations recently where I did remember this information. It saved me a lot of embarrassment and pain, and it was these situations where I left them feeling effective and proud. Okay, so one, recently I got an email with some incorrect information. At the time, I didn't realize it was incorrect. So I was about to start calling people and freaking out and thinking that the whole thing was going to fall apart because of it, and I was going to quit all of it, and I wasn't going to be a part of this situation that I got the incorrect information about. Instead, I give it a little bit of time, I calm down, and I realize I can just call the source and ask them directly, "Is this true?" Come to find out, it's not. I would have made a decision that was not in my best interest because I'd received some incorrect information. Instead of flying off the handle, I took some time and then I went to verify it. Another situation, I asked a question to a friend of mine in a text about a nonprofit that we both work for, and she responded with something that made me feel incredibly out of control and kind of even violated. So I was about to again make a bunch of phone calls, calling people saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't believe she's doing this. Somebody needs to intercede for me. Instead, I take a break, I go run some errands, I allow myself to calm down, and within that time, she had sent me a text back telling me she had misread it and giving me a much more appropriate answer. Another time, I missed an email from someone. Okay, this is from a store I purchased something from, and the order was late. So I'm about to call the store and tell them, what kind of operation are you running? I'm never doing business with you again. Are you trying to steal from me? Give me my money back. Thankfully, before I did that, I find the email that I'd missed, and in this email, she tells me that there's a shipping delay and has even offered me a free gift due to my inconvenience. Oh, God. Thank God I didn't fly off the handle in those two situations. Okay, last story, and this one's a funnier one. I'm at the grocery store pushing my cart along, and I go to pass somebody who's standing in the way looking at the shelves. While I'm doing this, she starts to pull my cart, and I'm about to say, what the are you doing, lady? And then she looks up at me, thank God, while I'm taking a beat, and says, oh, I thought you were my son. One, I'm like, do I look like your son? And two, he's kind of young, right? So thank you. I thought I had to like pull my face back now in order to look young. We end up laughing, and I just say, oh, I was wondering what you were doing. So when I respond in anger, I make a situation way worse than it ever needed to be. And sometimes I create a bad situation when there was never actually one to begin with. When I move forward with wrong information or I make decisions based on that, I usually end up not acting in my own best interest and or in the best interest of all those involved. But when I remember that I may be wrong, the power of the pause and the power of de-escalation in that proverb that anger stirs up more anger, but a level-headed response can diffuse it. I keep control of the situation. I keep control of my emotions, my behavior, my ego, and my peace. I also protect others from being hurt by my error or my anger. And in the end, we all end up with a better solution faster.